BYTON is keeping up with their game plan, and they have just completed their first stage of winter testing in China. Here's some pictures that I'll show you in a video in a little bit. And again, probably the most impressive things about BYTON that I always tell people is that they are sticking with their schedule. I'm going to tell you where they are with everything, with their factory, when it's going in production in China, when they come into Europe. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric, your #1 source of unbiased electric car news. If you want to stay up to date on all of this crazy and amazing, exciting stuff, all you have to do is click on that subscribe button down there so you become a part of this community, and that way you also won't miss anything moving forward. And I think that's pretty good. All right, so let's talk about BYTON. As you guys know, I've been my favorite brand from day one when they unveiled their M-Byte, which is this car in camouflage here a year and a half ago now. As you know, they're sponsor of the channel as well, and we'll get to it in a second. But they are, just like I said, they are keeping up with their schedule. Now we're seeing these cars doing winter testing. There was some wild horses here. I'm assuming it's a pun on the horsepower, but anyway, and some camouflage. I've seen this car, well, not this particular car, but I've seen their camouflage car, and it's on my Instagram. By the way, check out my Instagram because I have all kinds of pictures like behind the scenes and stuff. Also, at E4 Electric, it's pretty cool. It makes you a little dizzy, right? It doesn't have BYTON on the side like this one, right? Which I actually think is kind of cool. I'm surprised that people, like other companies don't do it more often, but that's kind of cool. And here's another a picture that you see, and this is important. So maybe that's some of this a little bit boring in sense of maybe the pictures are not as exciting, but I just did a story about BMW doing their testing. You guys see the stories on my channel everywhere else all the time, so it's important for BYTON to kind of give the same imagery, saying, hey guys, we're right behind you, and actually we're kind of ahead of you, and that's why this is pretty exciting. Now I'm going to show you the video in just a second. Before that, I should remind you that this channel is sponsored by BYTON. Check out the M-Byte without the camouflage. It's coming to the United States and Europe next year, starting at only $45,000. You can reserve yours at no cost to you at all, just about 60 seconds of your time. That's how long it took me to reserve mine. So check it out in the description of this video and reserve your BYTON. All right, so I probably should once again mention that the editorial portion of this video and all of my videos are completely independent of anything that my sponsor present to you guys, and it's very separate. So that's that. But so here's the video of their winter testing. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's lots of snow, lots of driving and cool drone shots, which is never not entertaining. But let's talk about where they're at with right now. So these are prototypes, and they've been making them for a while. The first batch, they actually, I believe it went straight to the crash course where they, did some safety testing and stuff like that. There's more courses. These are wild horses, and this is in China. So these are the first ones that I see really driving around, really being tested in the cold temperatures. Now the next stage, they're going to be bringing it here to the United States, to North America. They're going to be doing some testing here. So these guys are on schedule. The factory is almost finished, and I showed you guys a couple of pictures from that. I believe back when I did the report at CES. I will be visiting their finished factory. I believe it's going to be sometime this summer, so I'll go back to Nanjing and do a full report. We'll go a tour of the entire factory, and it is humongous. If you remember from my report, it is much bigger than like the Tesla factory that I'm familiar with. Not that it's the biggest factory in the world, but it's pretty big. So, and they're still on track. Despite being a startup that nobody really knew, like this time in 2017, nobody knew what the hell BYTON was. And that's, I think that's one of the most impressive things about them, is that they're on schedule. They're going in production in that factory later this year. From what I understand, the car is going to start being delivered in China at the end of this year, and then they're going to start delivering them in Q4 in 2020 here in the United States and Europe. So that's pretty cool, and this is why reserving this car is just kind of a must, because I have a feeling because they're not charging for their reservation, which kind of makes sense, the line is going to be ridiculously huge. Now the factory is supposed to produce up to 300,000 units per year, but as with any manufacturer, I'm sure the ramp up will be relatively slow. So again, I'm just saying it's only 60 seconds. Okay, so let's talk about positives and negatives. All right, so I kind of already cut out into the positives here, and it's because they're doing it, and because on schedule, and it's because it's coming and it's exciting. And you guys see my reports on it. You know that the innovation in this car is ridiculous. The price is like also ridiculously low because they're making it in China and importing it. I mean, obviously, if there's any kind of tariff war issues, then that car, I'm assuming the price will vary. But don't forget, they're qualified to have all the $7,500 incentive here in the United States, and so that this is going to be a good car for a good price. But let's talk about some negatives as well. So, I mean, the obvious negative, and I think it's going to be in every story until they actually start selling and proving themselves here in the United States and Europe, is that people are still kind of perceiving them as a Chinese brand, which I just, their headquarters there, but their factory is there. So it's, Tesla's future factories or a lot of other factories. I believe BMW iX3 is going to be made there as well in China, just exclusively in China, and be exported throughout the world. So that I don't think that they should be looked at as a Chinese brand. They're a global brand. They have headquarters here in Santa Clara, California, in the in the United States, but also in Europe. But this is something they're just going to have to fight. Now, as far as the specific videos are concerned, I just, like I told you, I really like them because they're an innovative brand. So when they're doing a kind of what I consider to be a boring testing, I would like to see more innovation in their videos as well, just to make it a little bit more exciting. There's got to be something that they can outshine BMW just with these videos, So I think just give us a better user experience with these videos as well. So if anything, I would like them to do that as well. So. Oh, by the way, let me give a quick shout out to one of my newer Patreons, Brian Coker. Thank you so much, Brian, for joining my Patreon community. Patreon is the only place where you can watch me live, but thank you to all of my Patreons for supporting and contributing to this independent YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. If you want to become a part of my community over there, just browse to the description of this video. There is a link. It's very simple, patreon.com/E4Electric. So that way you can become a part of my Patreon community. All right, looking forward to your feedback. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.